Welcome to Soccer in 60, presented by the Empire Strykers. Get ready for your weekly look at all the pro soccer teams in Greater Los Angeles. We've got all the news and analysis you need, from LAFC and the LA Galaxy to the Empire Strykers, Angel City FC, and Orange County Soccer Club. Now, buckle up and enjoy Soccer in 60.
Welcome indeed to the fastest paced soccer show in SoCal. This is Soccer in 60, brought to you by SAC Health System, covering all the week's news, highlights, and more from LAFC, the Galaxy, Angel City, Orange County Soccer Club, and of course, the major arena soccer league zone, Empire Strykers. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, JR Lieber, joined today by two of my fantastic co-hosts on this episode of Soccer in 60, the first of which, Orange County Soccer Club superfan, soccer guru himself, Timmy K. Tim Kolach. Welcome to Soccer in 60, buddy.
Thanks, JR. Appreciate you, man. And it's a beautiful day here in LA, man, and I get to spend the next hour talking footy with a couple of my boys.
Happy to have you on, as well as one half of the dynamic duo of the Lacuna Galaxiana podcast. This is Ananda. Ananda, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Good to be back, boys. And I'm still lamenting over the Ricky news, but hey, life goes on.
You know, hopefully we'll talk about a lot of other things besides Ricky on this one. Want to remind everybody to subscribe to the podcast on all your podcast platforms. And please make sure you subscribe to Soccer in 60 on YouTube. This episode, we have a fantastic interview with new Strikers forward Qutus Lawal. He is an incredible story. Please make sure you check out that entire interview with Gunnar Burnt. It is a fantastic one with the newest Strikers forward, but wow, what an incredible story that he's got. Speaking of incredible, let's check in with our friends over at Omnitrans. In partnership with the Empire Strykers, experience the thrill of game day with Omnitrans. Be in the heart of the action at Toyota Arena and let Omnitrans take care of the ride. Simply download the Transit app to catch your bus and enjoy a stress-free trip to cheer on the Strikers. Don't miss out on the excitement and make every moment count at Toyota Arena. Ride with Omnitrans to your next Empire Strykers game. All right, so we're going to talk about some Galaxy news here with Ananda and Timmy K. Ananda, first and foremost, you see another player from last year's club leaving the fold, this time to go to the USL Championship. That, of course, would be Miguel Berry, who just signed with the Charleston Battery, a regular USL power, in 59 matches with the Galaxy over the last couple of seasons, 4 goals, 5 assists. So you're definitely losing a depth piece up top. While it's not a starting 11 caliber player, what does it mean seeing another player like Miguel Berry walk out the door before the start of the season?
Yeah, I think if you talk to Galaxy fans, I think they're okay with this. It's funny, a lot of people actually, liken to him. They call him San Miguelito, right? It's funny, Scarf, if it wasn't for Miguel Berry, the Galaxy would not have had a unbeaten record at home in 2024. He hit the game-tying goal against RSL to keep that unbeaten streak alive. So, he's a serviceable option, but I think if you ask Galaxy fans from the eye test, he's just not at the level technically. He does a lot of nice things, but very little end product, and he's just a serviceable guy off the bench, but I think the Galaxy could probably do better in that position.
Yeah, Timmy K, he's kind of what they call in baseball a 4A player, right? Like maybe too good for AAA, but not quite there for the major leagues. But a player who scored a lot of goals in USL Championship, and I know you as a ardent follower of all things USL Championship, while he's not in the same division, still going to Charleston Battery, that's a big get for them.
Yeah, that's a really big get for Charleston because, like Ananda said, he's serviceable at the MLS level, but he's going to be one of the top 20 players in all of USL next year. I think he's going to come in. I think he's going to get double-digit goals. He's going to have half a dozen assists, and he's going to make Charleston a much better team, Scarf.
Yeah, that's going to be trouble for Orange County. We'll talk about their impact a little bit later on. Ananda, I want to come back to you, and there have been some rumors regarding a couple of players. I want to mention first a player who I think could make a pretty big impact for you guys if he does come back, and that's Matheus Nascimento. a good goal scorer at times for you, definitely dynamic offensively. And we kind of saw him turn the corner. I believe he's on loan from Botafogo, if I remember correctly. This is a big name. If you can get him back in the fold, what would it mean?
I think it would mean a pretty decent option at number 9. He would clearly be the starter again. But it's interesting if I think about Greg's comments last year, which is he wanted a 15 to 20 goal, a scorer at that starting position. Now, I'm not sure you're going to get that. Granted, he's a U22 signing with a lot of potential, but Scarf last year, he only had 4 goals and 3 assists, I believe was his tally. So got to pick up that production. Now, granted, I believe that was only in 13 starts. So the more minutes he has, probably his production would go up. But look, a decent option given the other holes that the Galaxy need to plug in, especially that big DP sized hole. So it'll be interesting, but the jury's still out on Nascimento.
And maybe a depth piece now with seeing Miguel Berry sign somewhere else, right? A player like that, he could come in and steal those minutes too, in addition to what he maybe played last year. Look, there's no secret that the Galaxy's off-season plan was to rebuild that back line. And look, Jakob Glesnes does a lot of things for the back line for the Galaxy, maybe the most impactful signing of this offseason across Major League Soccer. But rumors about Zenka potentially moving on, I believe, from Galaxy.
Yeah, there's reports out of the Danish media that he is looking to leave the Galaxy right now. The rumor is from a contract mutual termination. So we don't know the particulars yet. But Scarf, the reality is when you bring in quality at that back line like Jakob Glesnes and Justin Hack, who can play that position, there's going to be an odd man out. You've got Chris Rindolph, you got Maya Yoshida, and you've got Zonka. So I think the writing was on the wall for one of them, and it looks like Zonka is the sacrificial lamb here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the composition of that back line. I believe other than obviously the big hole up top with the absence of Ricky Puig, the composition of that back line was the biggest question coming into this offseason. So if you are going to play 4 in the back right now, who would your 4 in the back be?
Oh, really good question. My fullbacks still John Nelson and Mickey Yamane, and then I think my starting center back partnership would be Jakob Glesnes and Emilio Garces, just based off of continuity. I mean, you can throw Justin Hack in there, although I think Cerrillo is suspended for the first game of the season, so he's probably going to play in the midfield. And it'll be interesting. I'm really excited to see the CVI and preseason to see how Greg sets up, and he might give us some different looks, which is a good thing for me for the Galaxy.
And just real quick to close out, your thoughts on Maya Yoshida and the role that he might play this season on that back line.
Yeah, and I think one of the big reasons why he's not the sacrificial lamb here, Scarf, is that he is a leader. He is a consummate professional. Every time we talk to him, post-match, he's a really, really bright and clever guy, and I can imagine the impact that he has on youngsters like Emilio Garces, like Chris Rindolph, in that locker room. I think he's a really important presence. He's got that Japanese connection as well with Mickey Yamane. Just a really important guy to have in the locker room, and he still has stuff to contribute. I think he has something to improve this year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. Let's travel 13 miles up the road from Carson to downtown Los Angeles, where we're going to talk about, well, a player with a lot of Carson ties, that's for sure. The Galaxy double agent. We'll see. Last year, maybe Marky Delgado kind of came into that double agent role with that PK that I've got to take this line from a friend of mine in a chat. It just landed at LAX recently, that PK shot that he took there in the playoffs. But Tyler Boyd in for black and gold. This is going to be interesting. First, Timmy K, I have to ask you, this is a player who absolutely killed LAFC when he was with Galaxy over the last couple of seasons, especially 3 goals and 2 assists against LAFC alone. Is it one of those things where, well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or you're keeping your friends close and your enemies closer? What does this signing mean in black and gold now? Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I think it's you can't beat him, join him. I think picking up him off of waivers for nothing, right?
Yeah.
Getting him to come in, immediately sign him to a 2-year deal. If you think it was fun watching, Ananda watching Tyler Boyd destroy LAFC a couple of different times, I think you're going to be on the happy end of this event when they play him if he gets the start, because I think he's going to be a very strong asset for LAFC this coming season, Scarf.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be a depth piece up top. We're not looking at a guy who's going to start alongside Denis Bouanga or Son Heung-min, of course, but a depth piece that Ananda said the Galaxy were the club that he grew up rooting for, and that he does not take any moment in the Galaxy shirt for granted. In fact, he was shown being very emotional at the end of his Galaxy tenure before he left for Nashville. He'll become the second player who's worn Galaxy colors to then play for LAFC, of course, behind Marky Delgado. And he's got some splaining to do, to quote the great Desi Arnaz to LAFC fans. But you got to watch him for 2 years up close and personal. What kind of player is LAFC getting in Tyler Boyd?
Yeah, you're getting a really committed player, and actually, I think an underrated player, Scarf. He was our leading scorer. He was the Galaxy's leading scorer in 2023 with 7 goals, and he scored important goals, like you said, in the biggest of games. So yeah. I think when you need that depth piece to come off the bench and do a job for you, especially in those big games, I think he is that player. The only thing is I haven't watched him as closely in Nashville, but I do know that ACL injury, I mean, we talk about it with Ricky, but it definitely changed Tyler Boyd. I mean, he was having a spectacular year with the Galaxy, then went to Nashville and unfortunately sustained that injury. So he's not going to be the same player. And I think the expectations for LAFC fans is you're not going to get the 2023 Tyler Boyd, but you know what? You're going to get a more than serviceable player to come off the bench and back up Denis Bouanga and Heung-min Son.
Yeah, if you're looking at Jeremy Abobasi, Nathan Ordaz, David Martinez, now Jacob Schaffelberg, there's a glut of forwards now behind our big two, of course, up top. So it'll be interesting to see who gets those extra minutes. But I think the other thing, too, to talk about is that this is a player who is known as a fiery and passionate player once he's out there on the pitch. And I think other than maybe Denis Bouanga, that's something that is lacking at times out there. So if for some reason Denis isn't playing or is coming off the pitch, now you have another fiery leader out there in Tyler Boyd, who has plenty of experience. A couple of LAFC 2 players getting the call up to the big leagues. That's right. 2 LAFC 2 players now signing a first team contract, both of them signing through 2027 with options in 28 and 29. The first of which, I love this signing. Matt Evans signed through 2027 with those options that we were talking about. He's been with the LAFC Academy since he was 11 years old, 15 goals in 2 seasons for LAFC 2. Also has some Guatemalan national team experience, picking up 2 caps for them. And it's another one of those pieces. He can play a little bit of midfield. He can maybe slot up into a forward spot. But Timmy, to have that kind of positional versatility coming off the bench for LAFC, he hasn't played with the first team at all yet, but this could be a decent depth signing for them.
I think it's a strong depth signing for him, and being inside of the academy program with LAFC, he's going to be able to come in and run the system because they run the system at the big club that they do at LAFC too. And that's going to be a big difference. So that's going to make his transition reasonably easy. Nothing's easy going from, LAFC 2 to the big club, but it'll make it a little bit more smooth of a transition, Scarf.
And this is a player with 2 goals in the U.S. Open Cup last season as well. Granted, that's for LAFC too. Also, Cabral Carter, the 21-year-old goalkeeper, who a lot of people like. Very young, talented goalkeeper, comes up from LAFC 2. He was LAFC 2's captain last year, started 19 matches for them. And look, we saw what happened with David Ochoa. He kind of lost his competition battle with Thomas Asal. And so now we've got another battle with Cabral Carter. So we'll see. Ananda, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on, my friend. Thank you for talking both LAFC and Galaxy with us. Have a wonderful evening, bud.
Thank you, boys.
All right, so we go from Ananda to Philly. That is right. First of all, fantastic interview coming up with Qutus Lawal, the new Strykers forward, somebody who we are going to hear the voice of the Empire Strykers, one Christian Philly Philemon, talk quite a bit about in all of their different broadcasts. You can catch them on a lot of different places. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Philly, what you got to talk about quite a bit was not 1 or 2 or 3. Finally, 10 goals against Tacoma, 7 different goal scorers, and they came out on fire, started out in a hurry, and did not let up.
Looking at my watch, for those of you that are listening, and looking at my watch, thinking to myself, it's about damn time that all of this started taking place. It really has been a long while. Finally, an offensive explosion by the Empire Strykers. Up to that point, they were averaging three goals a game. And that's not going to get the job done, albeit they didn't really concede that many goals. But finally, something to be very happy about. And it came at a perfect time because there's a good week and change in between the win against Tacoma and the Strikers' next game on the road against St. Louis for them to really sit there and bask in the glory and figure out how to create a little bit more oomph offensively.
Yeah, 5-0 before Tacoma even got their goal scoring going. And let me ask you, 38 seconds in, you think, all right, Justin Stinson to Marco Fabian, you get a goal. And more importantly, you get your two big names up top on the score sheet early. Were you potentially looking for more from those two, Philly, or does it matter at all who scores in a 10-3 victory?
I mean, truthfully, up to that point, it really didn't matter who was scoring in a 10-3 victory as long as there was a victory. Marco's going to find his goals. Justin is going to find his goals. They have historically proven it. Although Justin's still out to somewhat of a slow start, he's the kind of player that'll bag a hat trick in one game, do it another game, and then start to continue to go on a tirade. Marco's been very consistent with his goal scoring. Munir Alami currently leads the team in scoring, but it's good that some of the new players got involved offensively. What we've seen out of Ali Somo, incredible. In the 5 games that he's played in, kid's already got 4 points. Walter Diaz taking care of business. Isak Somo, Steven Chavez getting involved offensively. And obviously Alan Perez, who we know can score goals and assist on them as well. For him to have the game that he had against Tacoma, that was a really big deal. So it's nice to see some of the veterans score, but ultimately when you bring in all these new players, you want to see them get established within the system because that's only going to breed more confidence and it's going to give them more of a reason to continue to fire away on net.
Yeah, players you talked about, Steven Chavez and Ali Somo, 2 goals and an assist each. Alan Perez, 2 and 2. So very, very solid contributions from all the way around. But Timmy K, here comes that man again. Robert Palmer, Berto Palmer. I don't know what they call it. It's like there's the Gordie Howe hat trick, right? Where it's a goal, assist, and a fight. Robert Palmer's going to get something named after him with all the assists and the blocks that he piles up game after game. This one, 2 assists and 2 more blocks. The back line anchored. In fact, maybe the Empire Strikers in general anchored by the fantastic defender.
Yeah, we talked about this at length last week that, Philly mentioned it, only scoring 3 goals and they were only giving up, they were only getting 3 goals for, and they were only giving up, 4.5, maybe 5 a game on average, something like that. Yeah. So the defense was never the issue, is just getting the offense going. But you're right. Berto Palmer is the anchor of that back line. And for him to have another standout game like he did, and Philly made some great calls when he was out on the pitch, it was just really, really fun to watch him play like that consistently. Philly mentions Marco being consistent. Palmer is the most consistent guy on the team. The guy goes out there, does his job, doesn't let any balls get into the net, or very few. And then in this game, he picks up a couple of assists. So just a really strong overall game by Berto there, Scarf.
Yeah, and what he gave to the opposition, he brought right back. He had that terrible back pass that got intercepted for a goal. But then soon after, he's the one that makes the interception that leads to another goal, right? Philly, defensively, you mentioned it. MASL's best, averaging just 4 goals allowed per game. But they're still, unfortunately, offensively amongst the lower end of the league with averaging 4 goals a game. Let me ask you real quick, what do they need to do to get their offense rolling with a massive 3 games before we come back on at Soccer in 60 in the next week?
Look, it's just a matter of getting everybody, involved. I mean, you talk about, how they've struggled to score goals, almost 36% of their offense this entire year came against Tacoma in the last home game. 10 goals out of the 28, 36%. Maths, you're a math teacher.
There you go.
getting involved offensively early obviously helped. You saw that when they scored within under a minute, that gave the team some confidence. The system has proven to work, specifically on the defensive side. I mean, if you look at Brian Orozco, his goals against average is top-notch in the league, as is his save percentage. A lot of people will measure a goalkeeper's worth by the amount of saves he makes. Paulo Nascimento leads the league in saves, but what that tells me is that the back line really doesn't do them any justice. The save percentage by itself and the goals against average for Brian Orozco is incredible. What the Strikers have done historically is struggled keeping the ball out of the back of the net, but now they have somewhat of a nuanced issue, scoring. But at this point, they looked really good against a tough Tacoma team. Tacoma's for real. They just came back and beat St. Louis in a shootout as well. Tacoma's one of those teams at this point that looks poised for a shot at the postseason. So if they could just find ways to continue to get the other players involved, I think that's going to prove highly. And Ali Somo, if he continues to play the way that he does, this kid might have a shot at newcomer of the year and with the output that he's put in.
Yeah, he looks great early on in the year. You mentioned both Tacoma and St. Louis. That just happens to be the Strikers' next two opponents. Road matches, Friday at St. Louis, Friday, January 16th at St. Louis, Sunday, January 18th at Tacoma. I know, Philly, it's always nice to be able to see CBS Sports Golazo Network showing an Empire Strykers game. That'll be the St. Louis ambush match. But these two road tests are going to be tough. And then they come back home Thursday, January 22nd to host the San Diego Sockers. Tickets at theempirestrykers.com, and that's Strikers with a Y. What does it mean, Philly, when the Sockers are at Toyota Arena?
Fireworks. It always means fireworks. Despite the fact that they've dominated the series, winning 48 times, the Strikers winning 10, the last couple of years, the games have been insanely close. If you want some entertainment, you tune into the Sockers and the Strikers. And now that the Strikers have kind of changed things up a little bit, I think the game against San Diego is going to be even better than it was. But, man, the way Boris Pardo is playing also, it's going to be tough. But either way, highly entertaining. And keep in mind, that game's also going to be on Fox Soccer Plus on the 22nd. So catch me on Fox.
Absolutely. You can catch Philly on all the Empire Strykers home broadcasts, MASL Plus, MASL YouTube, everywhere. You can hear Philly's voice. Philly, thank you so much for being an amazing part once again of Soccer in 60, my friend.
Much love, fellas. I'll see you soon.
Great to see you, Philly, man.
All right, so we go from Philly to our friends at National Core. National Core is one of the nation's largest nonprofit affordable housing developers and a proud sponsor of the Empire Strykers. At National Core, they believe that soccer has the power to transform lives just like they do. They believe in building strong communities on and off the field. And to learn more about National Core and their mission, head on over to nationalcore.org. And now the fantastic interview that we have teased a couple of times with newest Strikers forward Qutus Lawal. He talks all things Strikers before really opening up about some of the early struggles and triumphs in his life. He sat down with Gunnar Berndt, and it is a fantastic interview. Once again, Qutus Lawal, newest Strikers forward. Let's hear from him and Gunnar now.
All right, thanks, guys. Our guest today is a brand new forward with the Empire Strykers and instantly one of the most experienced players on the roster. He's previously played a key role for the Milwaukee Wave and brings a resume that includes the MASL as well as the top tier of the USL and first divisions in Africa and Europe. Today, he's graciously agreed to talk to me not only about soccer, but also about the strength and the perseverance it took to overcome some of the darker chapters in his life. I'm so happy to have with me now Mr. Qutus Lawal. Qutus, welcome to Soccer in 60.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, Thank you very much.
It's an honor to have you not only on the team, but also on the show. We'll start with an easy one. You've played for teams like Seattle Sounders 2, Wilmington Hammerheads, San Diego Loyal of the USL top tier, also teams in the Albanian and Egyptian first divisions, and in the MASL with St. Louis and the Milwaukee Wave, including last season with Milwaukee. How did this opportunity with Empire come about now, and what made it feel like the right move for you at this point?
I think the opportunity came from me getting the coach number from someone close to me, because I kind of talked to him like I kind of need change, you know what I'm saying? Because I see Milwaukee too close to Chicago, and I don't like it. I feel like, I got to go far away, and be more focused, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I came. I hit up the coach. He told me to come in, I think, November. But I was still playing outdoor because I've been privileged with a lot of teams in Chicago, like small teams that call me to, like, help the community. So I play as much game with them, just to help the guys, that are coming from college or planning to be pros, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just told him, like, I'm not going to be able to come to preseason, Maybe when I'm done with my outdoor, then I can come in. So, yeah.
And that worked out, obviously, which we're very happy about. Let's go back in time. You've told me before, when you and I texted a little bit, you told me before that you first moved to the U.S. and to Chicago. You mentioned Chicago from Nigeria, which is where you're from originally, by yourself at 14 years old, if I have this right. I have so many questions. Maybe talk to me about how and why you first came here, what your family thought about it at the time, who you even stayed with when you came here, and what it was like to be far away from your family in another country at such a young age.
If I'm being realistic and not, trying to sugarcoat, I think moving over here is pretty hard. And I'll keep putting this out there, like, I'm the only son of my father. So it gave me everything, except I'm not allowed to play soccer, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know this. I can say I'm book smart, you know what I'm saying? I was how am I going to say? My father wanted me to go to school. Like, soccer wasn't my thing,
Yeah.
And then one afternoon, he saw the opportunity for his son to go to the U.S., and then he included me. And it's like, it's time for you just to get the exposure. Like, I put it as vacation, you know what I'm saying? Because I came to the United States twice before deciding and telling my parents. Like, my parents didn't actually agree with me moving down here at that age. I was the one that had to convince them and say, you know what, let me just start my, being a man at this age and stuff like that. And while I'm here, they still give me everything. Like, I collect my allowance, all that stuff. Yeah. So, but as of that time, I was living with my dad's friend, which he really did well. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's how that goes.
Well, I'm thoroughly impressed. I came to the U.S. from my native Germany by myself at 14, but it was only for a couple of weeks. I didn't move until I was about 16, 17. So I don't think I could have done it at that age. So thoroughly impressed. I hinted at it in the intro. Some things have happened in your life that you haven't really talked about much. One of them took place while you were living in Chicago as a teenager. I'll set the stage real quick. It's the night before your SATs. You told me you and some friends decide to head to the store for some snacks. Yeah, why don't you take it from there? Tell us what happens.
I think we were just all studying for the SATs. We have SAT the next day, and then we were tired. Just like, let's walk to the store and get some things. On our way back, I was chilling. About to like reach the alley, and then my friend just stepped in front of me, and that's it. The whole thing happened in front of me, and I don't know. At that age, I was I don't know. It was really tough because people just know, he's fine, he's going with it, but people don't really know what's pushing me to get to where I am today. Like, how I isolate myself or just go ghost for no reason. I mean, it's for a reason for myself, but people just look at, he just go ghost. Where's he at? But not knowing, like, the pain I'm feeling inside of me, not having your parent at that age, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me just get in there real quick and just make sure, because you and I have had a conversation about it, right? In case people aren't 100% following, and I want to be super clear because it's no joke. So your friend gets shot right in front of you is what happened, right? Like in case people didn't pick that up, he gets shot. Not only does he get shot, he didn't survive that. So
No, I didn't.
you had to experience that. Yeah, I can't even imagine. You mentioned to me, and you decide if this is how deep you want to go on this or not. You mentioned to me you were in the aftermath. You were picked up by police and interviewed, or maybe even interrogated, having just lost your friend. That must have been so difficult.
I mean, I'm gonna be not too like I'm gonna put a filter a little bit on it. I'm being treated like, oh, I did something wrong, which you rubbed me in some type of way, like, oh, this is a little boy coming from Africa, you know. Maybe I probably don't know what's going on in the world. And mind you, I'm not from how people view Africa, like, oh yeah, maybe you're coming from Africa, you poor. No, I'm not. People that know me very well, and if they see this video, they know my dad gave me everything. Like, I go take it, yeah, and it's my dad, so I'm not one of them kids like, oh yeah, but where I'm from, it's like we always on I a lot, like we known for like to be a man at a very young age, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody that knows through Larry Shita, you know, like even if you don't get a parenting at home, you get it on the street, you know what I'm saying? So.
So I think you mentioned something when we previously spoke about it. Might have been like a case of mistaken identity or something. Do they know today?
To me, I feel like it's a mistake identity. But I'm gonna be honest. When we was coming back from the store, the guys laughing. You know what I'm saying? And these are guys we see every day. We come back from school, you know, and we didn't think of anything much to it, you know, until we was. After the incident happened, so I had to flash back, like, okay, why was this people happy? You know, smiling, just. But in my own head, you know, we from Africa. I see that even in high school, calling me a booty scratcher, like all, you know what I'm saying? Like, but not knowing we from Africa, we probably smarter than them over here too. I'm telling you. But as soon as the stuff happened, everybody, even in the corner, everybody just split. But I think, in my own opinion, if you're to ask me very well, I think it's a gang war because looking at who came to shoot at us, it's more of a if you're familiar with the Chicago whatever war that's going on, you don't come shoot at people all maxed and wearing all black and stuff like that. So it means something. It means like they just say go get them, like. So I just feel like, oh, we were just in the wrong place. You know?
Gotcha.
I don't say we was a target, you know what I'm saying? Because what do? We don't do nothing. We're just a young boy from Africa, you know, going to school, doing this thing, and ready to do his SAT the next day. So, and nobody has ever like got into trouble. So, I don't think we was the target. But overall, the way the police, the way they run the case, I'll tell you this straight up. I'm not happy with it. You know, I read like some notes on it. Like they didn't do the right thing. So, like I'll be honest. I wanted to get the shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like you taking me to the precinct, like trying to force me to point like them that point at someone. Like I don't know, man. Like. It's too congested, like, and I'm still mourning, like, it's traumatic, and all I could see is, oh, you picking me up from school to go write a statement. Like, I'm sorry, man. I did it, but at that moment, it's not what I wanted to do. I just want to mourn in peace. Like, I just want to be grateful I wasn't shot at that moment, you know, because the way the incident happened, it could have been me. And still to today, I'm so thankful. You know.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Unfortunately, that dark period of your life doesn't actually end there. Something else happened to you that also involved gun violence. Are you okay talking about that?
Oh yeah. I can give a little. I think what happened was like, it was coming from an event or stuff like that, and I was with one of my close friends, like, you know. So I think there was a brawl in the event, and then we went out. So I think we just went out to when the drive-by happened. So I got struck in my in my shame, which I still have to clean over there. I'm sure it's probably only my friends that know, and right now that I'm talking about it, but it's something that I couldn't even tell my dad, because the last time about the shooting that happened in front of me, he told me straight up, just come home. Which I'm confident, even if I'm in Africa, I'm going to be successful. That's 1,000%. It's not even no joke. So, because it's all planned for me. It's all there for me. I picked here. Nah, they didn't pick here for me. I'm the one that came here twice, and I feel like, my father paid all the money, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I picked here. So, but I mean, it's Chicago, you know what I'm saying? I'll still live over there. That's my city, and I love it. So, because there are great moments over there. So,
you said it. It's not easy at any age to deal with those things happening to you, let alone as a teenager. Talk to me about the role that the soccer played in your life at that time, and how it helped you through things. I understand you weren't even playing when you first came over.
No, I wasn't playing. Like, I'm not a soccer player, to be honest. I already know what I want to become. If I'm to put it out there, I want to be a contractor manager, which I've been privileged in this country to work with the Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to landscape. I do roofing. So, and those I didn't go to school for. Like, through having Hispanic friends and lovers, I had to learn stuff like that.
So is it fair to say soccer helped you kind of get your mind off things and come out the other side stronger and invigorated?
Yeah, because after the incident, and not only that, I look at the city and map. Let's be realistic. It's either you're doing bad or you're doing good. It's either you're in something you're not supposed to be doing, or you're doing the right thing. And everybody knows, like, soccer always takes you out of it. And you have to be very disciplined. Because I said to myself, this is the only thing I have at the moment that's kind of like a therapy for me. You know what I'm saying? So I devour all my savings, everything, my time on it. Like, I have to be there. You know what I'm saying? I remember the first trial I went to, I think the St. Louis team was in the USL, and the coach told me straight up, you're not a soccer player. You're not good. Because I went with my friend. He was a goalie. Like, he's a goalie. And he both told us, like, damn near, like, y'all not good for this. And then I was driving home crying. And my friend, he switched. He's like, oh, I'm done. I'm not going to this and that. And I told him, no, I'm going to fall on what he said. I'm going to take that. And mind you, the next season, I played against him. I played against the coach. And then it's not even only to play against the coach. You being scouted, not to hurt his team. It just gave me a joy, like, okay, Qutus, you're in the right spot. You know what I'm saying? It's good you use that to fuel your energy and not think of it as a negative, because in this life, we need to accept not everybody will like what you're doing. And even if people tell you no, don't view it as, oh, it's a no. It's probably some things you need to have that some guys just don't want to learn. You know what I'm saying? So at that moment, I didn't take it as, oh, he's bashing me. I don't have no pro experience. He's a coach. He's coaching a professional team, so he has the right to, and not. And mind you, I don't like people like using filter for me. Like, just tell me how it is. I can take it because it's part of life. So, that's how you prepare yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you just don't run away from it. So whatever he may have said, he may think it is a negative, but it's a positive for me because he helped me. Telling me that made me realize I have to work more.
Let's, if you don't mind, with the few minutes that we have left, let's jump to present day for a second, because you are with the Empire Strykers now.
Yep.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
The Strykers, it's great to have you. The Strykers recently bagged a 10-3 home win over Tacoma that was desperately needed after a streak of just frustrating, really narrow defeats. You hadn't been announced yet at the time, so you had a chance to watch the game, analyze the game. The Strykers seemed a lot more aggressive on attack, more creative compared to previous games. What did you make of the performance in that game?
I think all the players and the staff, we all know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because for us losing the going on a losing streak, we all know those games we should have won. You know what I'm saying? And it's just mistakes, our mistakes that's getting us down. But as you can see, playing against Tacoma and getting the win, it shows that this is a new era. It's something we have talked about, practice, watch videos, making sure like, okay, this is what we want to do. For us to get over the line, it needs to be togetherness, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody doing the job being assigned to, and not looking at all the things, At the end of the day, you're playing or you're not playing, you just have to be ready and stuff. And it's, like I said, it's the badge first, and then you can worry about your name in the back. I can tell you confidently we coming, because I'm not the type to talk after the game. I talk before it. We coming. I'm telling you, they know we coming. I'm not here to because I know what we got. So, and this is my team now, and I'm going against any team in this league. They know, y'all know. So only y'all want to play, y'all know.
Putting people on notice. I love it. Transitioning me perfectly into my next question. You guys have a tough stretch coming up here. It starts with a 2-game road trip that includes a game at St. Louis on Friday and then at Tacoma on Sunday. The team has played each opponent once already, each time losing by Tacoma we've played twice, but we have lost a nail biter to each of these teams before, and then obviously beaten Tacoma comprehensively. Given you're a veteran of the league, what are your thoughts on St. Louis and Tacoma this season, and do you have any keys to these games?
I mean, we all know what's on ground. Like we go into all these games to win, not to go overtime. We going to win. We coming for it. Like, I'm not just talking here for myself, I'm talking for the whole team. And like I have a say to myself. The other team is not the pressure. We are the pressure. We are the team that they need to be worried about, because as you can see in the league, we possess the ball a lot, And for a team that possesses the ball a lot, you're already halfway there. And if you can convert all your chances, you win the game. Because there's no chance that a team chasing to be in the same pot with you, nah. But I can clearly say we've been unlucky, because we could see, we watch videos, we count how many chances we create, not even close. Like the other teams are not even close to us. So we know what we got to do, be clinical and go, and defensively holding tight, bumping your man and wrapping up in the box, just little stuff like that, helping, not thinking, this is my man, I have to stay with my man, backtrack, all that stuff, that's indoor, and I can say, we have a lot of rookies, which some guys are transitioning from outdoor, which, you can give 5 games, because I can say, while I was in Milwaukee, I was privileged, by Jews, for him to tell me, he knew the talent, and he said, you could just watch videos, and as of that time, I think a player like what's called Ben Raman, he helped me with the videos, because as of that time we were staying together, and if he's watching video, I'm always, all games, he's just pushing me to watch all that, so that really helps, and I feel like with the rookies we have, they can step in their shoes too, because I don't think there's a rookie in this league. If you can do it, let's get it rolling. That's just how it is. It's a matter of knowing the game, what the game needs.
Yep. Yep. Again, for anyone that's just tuning in, our guest has been new Empire Strykers forward, Qutus Lawal. It's been such a joy talking to you, and I'm so grateful that you've been willing to share your story here, some parts of your life that people maybe weren't aware of. Really, really appreciate it. Love the attitude, and can't wait to see you on the field, hopefully in one of these next 2 games. Thank you so much for coming on today, my friend.
Thank you very much, man.
Wow. And Timmy, some really powerful things that Gunnar and Qutus were talking about. Again, this is one of those interviews that we're really going to look back on as a fantastic part here of Soccer in 60. Let's talk Angel City, Timmy. And since we last aired, Angel City announced the last 2 of the promised 5 signings and a surprise 6th signing to go along with that. And boy, howdy, Timmy K, one of those was a big one. With all due respect to the 2 NCAA players that they announced, let's get to the big one first. That, of course, is Angel City announcing a massive trade with the Orlando Pride, bringing over 2024 NWSL Defender of the Year, Emily Sands, signing her to a 3-year deal as well. Timmy, this is someone who changes the face of the defense the minute she steps on the pitch.
Without a doubt, Scarf. This is a massive signing. And again, like you say, this one dwarfs the other 2, and the other 2 are solid signings.
Yeah.
Young players, national champions, the whole bit, stud players. But this signing of Emily is just going to really remake the entire club, much less the back line over at Angel City, Scarf.
Yeah, we're talking about one of the premier defenders, and I'm going to say it, one of the premier young defenders in the world, let alone NWSL. All she did in 2024 was help Orlando win the NWSL championship and the NWSL Shield, got named to the best 11 first team, as well as numerous other awards throughout NWSL, and a real breakout star. Again, also a regular on the U.S. women's national team. All she did was take home the gold medal at the 2024 Olympics with Team USA. I don't know that Angel City has had in their young history a defender the likes of Emily Sands, but they're bringing on some young talent as well. Last Thursday, Angel City announced its 3rd college signing of the week, which is Florida State midfielder Taylor Suarez, fresh off an NCAA championship for her. And again, Timmy, we've seen the terms du jour is a 3-year contract, just like all these other signings. 8 goals and 14 assists for the midfielder, 2nd-team high school All-American, and someone who really brings some dynamic play into that midfield spot.
Yeah, and you said it, with the 3-year deal being the soup du jour, I think this is exactly what Alex Strauss wants. He doesn't want a long-term 5-year deal, and he doesn't want somebody that's just on a 1-year gig. And that's a big deal, because if you can lock the players in, not saying they're not going to get traded or what have you, but if you can lock them in for 3 years, now you can build a foundation. You put Emily for 3 years, you put these other players on 3 years deals, Scarf, that they're going to be around and they're going to buy into the system. And is it this year or is it next year that they really come to fruition as a team and really climb up the ladder of the NWSL table?
Yeah, Taylor, a really special young player as well. She's got a ton of experience with the U17s through the U20s at the U.S. Women's Youth National Team levels. Multiple State Player of the Year awards in high school, including a 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year award in North Carolina. I mean, she is a very, very solid player. Really fun to see her in the pink and black, of course, for Angel City. And just a few hours before we went on the air, Angel City announcing the signing of a SoCal native, former Texas Tech goalkeeper Faith Wynn. Now, this one is only to a 6-month contract, so this might be interesting. Maybe looking to get some competition in the goalkeeper room for sure. 2 years at Texas Tech after spending 3 years at UCLA, including winning the 2022 national championship with the Bruins. And Timmy, down from your neck of the woods, she went to the powerhouse Modern Day down there in Orange County. So she knows a little something about Angel City, trained with them last summer as well. Always good to have competition between the sticks.
Yeah, and this is one of these things, we've seen a couple of goalkeepers come in for Angel City. We've seen one leave already. I think the reality is that this 6-month contract could easily turn into a full year contract before the end of preseason. I see that really happening if she can come in, maybe get some minutes at CBI, right, the Coachella Valley Invitational, and get a few minutes there, show her worth, and then get some playing time in the middle of the season as that third keeper. I think that if she can come in, be strong like that, and she has all of these ties to Southern California, grew up an Angel City fan. It was a dream for her to play here. And I think those things and the tutelage of Coach Strauss is really going to bring up her game to the next level.
Yeah, and we keep mentioning over and over that 3-year window, right? And it looks like being brought into that same window would be the runner-up, I believe, for NWSL's Rookie of the Year last year, Riley Tiernan. She was extended through 2028. That's going to be a real interesting year for Angel City with a lot of these contracts coming up. But the thing about Riley Tiernan, right, Tim? She joined the club as a non-roster invitee. She crashed through the door when she got here for Angel City, went on to have a massive impact, finished the year as the NWSL's top scoring rookie. And oh, by the way, those 8 goals that she scored, a new Angel City single season record. We're talking about for any player, not just a rookie. To know that you have Riley Tiernan back for the next several seasons, that's got to make head coach Alex Strauss pretty happy as well.
Yeah, I think Riley Tiernan was the marquee player that Alex Strauss wanted to keep. And by putting her on this 3-year deal, keeping her through 2028 is a huge get, even though it's a player that's in-house, right? Sure. And you mentioned a non-roster player. You can easily lose those players in a minute if you don't pay attention and, open up that checkbook as best you can.
Yeah, keeping the young players in-house, Giselle Thompson, Riley Tiernan, it's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of good news there for Angel City. Now let's head, we just talked about Orange County with Mater Dei. Let's head down to Orange County Soccer Club. And Tim, I've got to ask you, we're combing for news each week with all 5 of these clubs that we cover. And it's not to say that there hasn't been some very significant offseason news for Orange County Soccer Club. Stay with me, Timmy. Stay with me. But we've seen a lot of re-signings. And one of the things that we've noticed, by the way, most of those re-signings have been to 1-year deals, as far as we know, based on their press releases. But what we haven't seen, we talked about Miguel Berry going to Charleston Battery. We've seen a lot of other bigger names signing with some of these USL championship sides on the off chance that during that pro rel in a couple of years, maybe they get booted up to the top level for USL. USL Division 1 is what they're calling it versus USL League 1, which is 2 divisions lower than that. But that's a whole nother story for another day.
Who's their marketing guy?
Where's the big signing, that splash, that something for Orange County this year?
Yeah, and this is the thing that's interesting. You're watching all the podcasts, Orange County Soccer Cast and things like that, and there is Bupkis coming out of Irvine. And I'm not sure if it's concerning or not, but their social medias have been teasing a few big signings over the past couple of weeks, and nothing has come out. You see somebody like Miguel Berry, like that we talked about, going to Charleston. You see the Switchback signing Shuttler, right, to a major competitor, a major rival of Orange County, getting your all-time leading goalkeeper. Where is that big signing? Well, I think there's a couple of things at play here. I think, obviously money, because there is no salary cap inside of USL, so you can do whatever you want. But I think the reality is they need a CBA in place before they're going to pop one of these big stars, or they're just waiting to really make a big swing and get somebody that nobody is even thinking that we're going to get, Scarf.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting part, right? That's what happens in USL from time to time, is there comes a name and you're like, wait a minute, that's an MLS caliber player now all of a sudden landing at a USL championship squad. And look, it's not getting any easier in this division. You're talking about perennial powerhouses left and right. You've got El Paso Locomotive with a new coach, a new structure. You always have to worry about Phoenix Rising. I mean, there are some very, very good teams on this side. So it'll be interesting. And again, it does hurt when you watch guys who are team icons like Colin Shuttler walking out the door to go to a divisional opponent as well. But again,
Yeah.
one of the things that you and I got to talk about for 3 straight weeks was I think there was 12 re-signings over the course of 3 straight weeks. So the nucleus is there. The talent is certainly there down at Great Park, down at the Champ in Irvine. But man, you just love to see at least one big signing or some other splash, right? So
yeah, because they've got that back line dialed in. I mean, you're looking at it. You got Dogman, Ben Alcazar, Ciota, and Duty are all on that back line. The back line is strong, but when Nico Ben Alcazar, and we've had him on the show, is your second leading shot taker,
right,
on frame at 29, only behind Ethan Zubak, you got to have somebody else up top. You know, we talked about Muhammadu War and things like that, and other guys like that, and Usman Silla and stuff. But you need there's got to be one more big signing, Scarf, before the season kicks off.
Yeah. Dan, we're looking for maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 big players down there in Orange County. Well, how about 3 fantastic stars in our strike force this week? The top 3 performers from the Empire Strykers' fantastic 10-3 win over Tacoma. And look, our apologies to Berto, Robert Palmer, 2 assists and 2 blocks, but he's not on there because of the fantastic offensive display. You're talking about Steven Chavez and Ali Somo, each, by the way, with 2 goals and an assist. And of course, Alan Perez, 2 goals and 2 assists. Those are our top 3 from this last week. And Timmy, those are 3 names that maybe you don't expect to see week in and week out. We expect the big boys, Stinson and Marco Fabian, Brian Orozco, but none of those names on there. That's a great sign for Empire.
It's a truly fantastic sign, because when we've talked about this again, you see these not second tier players, but you see the non-headlining names that, that puts cheeks in seats, right? But like Alan Perez, stud player, Ali Somo, brand new to the team, Steven Chavez, 2 goals and assists. You get these guys rolling, what's going to happen is guys like Stinson are going to get 2-3 assists, and they're going to be happy as a clam, and they're not going to worry about needing to fill the net. And, Philly mentioned it, that Fabian's going to get his goals. Stinson will start getting on track. But if you can get these guys on track as well, instead of averaging 4 goals a game, maybe the Strikers start averaging 9 or 10.
Absolutely. And again, theempirestrikers.com for tickets Thursday, the 22nd against San Diego Sockers. This has been the fastest paced soccer show in SoCal, Soccer in 60, brought to you by SAC Health System. We want to see all of you back here again next week. For my co-host, Timmy K, thank you so much for joining us. It's the Scarf. Bye-bye.
See ya.